In the heart of the American South, where segregation's roots ran deep and tradition held sway, a voice of change emerged. Lillian Smith, born on a winter's day in 1897, would grow to challenge the very foundations of her upbringing, becoming a beacon of progressive thought in a region resistant to change. Lillian's early years were steeped in the strict Calvinist traditions of her parents, Calvin Warren and Annie Simpson Smith. In their world, God's love was intertwined with shame about the body, and the superiority of whites over blacks was presented as divine will. Little did they know that their daughter would one day turn these beliefs on their head. The winds of change first touched Lillian's life when World War I swept away her father's lumber business. The family retreated to their summer home in Clayton, Georgia, nestled in the Blue Ridge Mountains. Here, amidst the towering pines and rushing streams, they established Laurel Falls Camp for Girls, a place that would become central to Lillian's story. Lillian's path to becoming a voice for change was not a straight one. She pursued music at the Peabody Conservatory, taught in a small Georgia school, and even ventured as far as China to head a music department. It was in China that the seeds of her social consciousness truly began to sprout. The stark segregation she witnessed between Westerners and Chinese opened her eyes to the injustices she had grown up with back home. Returning to Georgia in 1925, Lillian took over Laurel Falls Camp. Under her guidance, the camp transformed from a place of competitive sports to a haven for creativity. Little did she know that this secluded mountain retreat would become her base of operations for challenging the South's deepest-held beliefs. The 1930s marked a turning point for Lillian. As she cared for her ailing parents, she began to put pen to paper, exploring her experiences and thoughts. With the encouragement of her companion, Paula Snelling, Lillian's voice began to take shape. Together, they founded a literary magazine that evolved into South Today, a platform that dared to discuss race relations in the South. As World War II raged, Lillian saw an opportunity. How could America fight for democracy abroad while denying it at home? She used her magazine to call for an end to segregation, criticizing even liberal voices for their silence. Her 1944 novel Strange Fruit sent shockwaves through the South, laying bare the psychological damage inflicted by white supremacy on both blacks and whites. Lillian's boldness came at a cost. Her 1949 autobiographical work, Killers of the Dream, was so controversial it contributed to the closing of her beloved Laurel Falls Camp. Yet she persisted. Through novels, nonfiction works, and tireless advocacy, Lillian continued to challenge the status quo, even as some northern publishers deemed her too controversial. In her later years, Lillian's voice only grew stronger. She raised funds for civil rights organizations, admiring their nonviolent approach. Yet, ever the independent thinker, she wasn't afraid to criticize these same groups when she felt they strayed from their principles. Lillian Smith's life was a testament to the power of growth and change. From a child raised in the segregated South, she became a fierce advocate for equality and justice. Her journey reminds us that our beginnings do not dictate our endings, and that one voice, raised in pursuit of truth, can indeed change the world. When Lillian passed away in 1966, she left behind more than just her writings. She left a legacy of courage, a blueprint for challenging ingrained beliefs, and a call to action that still resonates today. In the story of the American South, Lillian Smith stands as a reminder that even in the face of deeply entrenched injustice, change is possible, if we have the courage to speak out and act. Thank you for listening. For more LGBTQ+ history, please subscribe to this channel.